You might not know it, but in Jewish tradition, there is a blessing you can say after having a terrible dream. It seems the Jewish sages also wrestled with understanding the power of dreams. Joining me to discuss that further is Rabbi Yitzhak Marmorstein from the Rav Kook Institute in Jerusalem and Eran Baruch from Binah, the Jewish Movement for Social Change. Eran, I want to start with you. Some would say that dreaming is in itself very Jewish. Not only from the texts where dreaming comes up, but even the idea that when we dream, we hope, in a sense, for a better tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a fundamental topic in Jewish thinking, in Jewish life, and start with the Bible, going through the Talmud into our time. Dreaming is something that is very strongly part of our culture. I don't think it's an accident that Sigmund Freud was Jewish, and he opened the book of making a dream part of our culture and science. And I think that dreaming, I mean, can you think about someone who doesn't have dreams? And when I'm talking about dreams, I'm not talking about sleeping and having dreams, but everybody has some kind of a dreaming thing, something to wait. And during the time of Jews not being in Israel, the dreaming to come and be here again was always a big dream, maybe the nation dream. And Theodor Herzl said that everything a man does starts with a dream and ends with a dream. This is something that Herzl says. And going to now, I mean, being a startup nation, it's always begin with some vision. And the methods of vision start with dreaming, sometimes stupid things. But there are many startups who start with stupid ideas, and many won't succeed. But to succeed, you need to dream. You need to have some vision. And I think it's a state of mind. I mean, it's not only when you have a culture who puts dreaming in a high place, and people talk about the dreams, and you ask the children what you dream at night, yeah? And you laugh about it, or make fun with it, or play with it. It gives a legitimacy to play with the dream and to make it serious.
Right. Well, Rabbi Sachs, who I'm a huge fan of, the former rabbi of the UK, says that he believes Jews, in a sense, invented the idea of dreaming, of hope, in history, that it was this idea of linear progression instead of cyclical time, where there was actually some change over time. Rabbi Marmorstein, I want to ask you for kind of the Kabbalist perspective, the Jewish mystics, how they saw dreams.
Well, Rav Kook spoke extensively about dreams, and he also experienced visions and dreams that he wrote. So we have a whole new tradition of that spiritual experience. But he explained that dreams are, the word in dreams is chalom. And we have the punctuation point, cholem, which is on the top left of a letter. And he says the cholem represents the point of when in sleep we enter into the dream state, and it's like an entry into that which is beyond our consciousness to a higher consciousness. And then he explained that that's one of the communications, the way the world communicates, the way God ultimately communicates with us. And it's a great blessing that we have that capacity.
If we look at some of the biblical texts, we look at Joseph, for example, right, that he was able to interpret the dreams of the Pharaoh. This was seen as prophetic because he could actually see into the future, right? That's how he warns of the famine that is coming.
Yeah, I think this is the narrative of the Bible. Also with Jacob's dreams, it's not only predicting the future, but it's also, I think, mental abilities of a person to understand what's going on inside his mind and his friend or neighbor mind. I mean, it's not only predicting the future in the matter of, timetable or things like that. It's also an ability to understand what people are looking for, what their ideals are, and where they want to go. If you want to go somewhere, you need to have plan. And to make plan, you must have a dream or a vision how those things can be. I mean, this is a reality. You want to go to another place. You have to build some kind of roadmap up together. And usually you can do it only by imagining things that usually are unusual. Because what usually happens in a dream, that you can, this is something that is unconscious. This is what Freud taught us, that, and Lacan after he says that everything that is not in the language is unconscious. And when you wake up and you want to write the dream, so you bring it from the unconscious to the language, to everybody understand it. And this is ability which is very, very unique and very, very strong in creating new ideas and doing nice things.
Right, we can tap into sometimes our deepest yearnings also through dreams. What about when we have dreams of loved ones? You know, just on a personal note, my father left this world 8 years ago, but when I have the rare dreams that he's in, it's a blessing.
Well, I think it's the understanding that we're living in the reality which past, present, and future is the frame we're in, but there is a larger reality where all is one, and then past, present, and future are fused, right. And those are little experiences of that unification. And again, thank God that that's part of the human experience and part of human possibilities.
Eran, what's the connection between prophecy and dreams?
I think I see prophets as people who have vision, who can judge in a very strong look at the reality and try to see things in a moral, in a fixing, better way. This is, I think, the place of a prophet, a true prophet. And going back to the ability of dreaming, I'm sure everybody is a big dreamer of the prophets, but it's, you know, when your father came to visit you in a dream, it could be a very big blessing. It could be, you know, some people are afraid of dreaming, and in the Masechet Brachot, in the Talmud, there are all kinds of hints or clues how to interpret the dreams. And as my colleague said here, there are some dreams that come from the unconscious, and some dreams that come from the higher conscious. And it's something very, very individual. And some of the symbols maybe are of the nation, of humankind, that you use in a dream. And prophecy is an ability, maybe the prophet of today are the young people who are trying to make the world better or start a new startup in breaking through the reality. And this is prophecy of our days, I think, maybe.
Well, I think there's a lot of truth to that, because Rav Kook has a passage where he speaks about that the great dreams are actually the great foundations of reality, because that which we're dreaming is dreaming of what's possible beyond the limitations, and the limitations are, the whole Torah is about overcoming the limitations for good manifesting. And so chazon and all that is a mechanism for us to bring that experience into our life. So it's very much a directive on how to make the world better and how to improve everything. Bimhi Rabbi Amenu.
Yeah, I think it's part of emotion out of tradition. Try, you know, when you sleep at night and you can think a lot of thinking that is not usual and not strict by borders and limitation, you can get the new ideas, like art, for example. And this is an ability that from one side you need a tradition to have those symbols and border. From the other side, you always have to be dynamic. I think this is a very strong the nation also of Judaism, to be able to be in emotion, to be dynamic, to check all time the borders and tradition and try to break through to a new place. And dreaming is, I mean, you cannot do it without dreaming.
Right, this is true. This is true. And the Kabbalists, of course, who had such a focus on prayer and meditation, I mean, this is also connected, in a sense, to, you know, trying to get to another place.
Well, you see, my familiarity is with the Torah of Rav Kook, and yes, he got to another place and gave a Torah from that other place to us, which is why the people around him came to the conclusion that he's experiencing prophecy, and he expressed it in beautiful poetics. If I may, very briefly, just. There's a chalomot ani cholem la'aretz ve'la'am. Dreams I dream for the nation and the people. With a makefet ani holem lev, with an anvil I shape the lowly and shaped hearts. Whoever is a child of the people, arise now, awake. Whoever is proud of spirit, take your harp and sing. And that's the dream that he was dreaming, and Baruch Hashem, we're seeing it manifested in Israel.
All right, we're going to end it there. Thank you so much, Rabbi Marmerstein and Eran Baruch, for joining me. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We have so much more coming up for you here on the Holy Land Uncovered. Stay with us.